Everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and this is Stone Temple Pilots Core. Well, it was. Let's start by roughing it up and make sure glue sticks to it. And let's get a piece of cardstock to be the top of the base. Make sure I get a good bond with my glue, and that should be it. Now let's cut around the outside. Oop. Oop. I got a little bit of overhang, but it's not enough that it should matter. I'm going to cut away from my hole here and make this into a couple panels. Then I'm going to get something to groove into there. Make those grooves a little bigger. Alright, so I suppose you wonder what we're making. Maybe I should have opened with that. We are going to make a mechanical dragon from the future. Ta-da! So let's start with some cardboard and make some plate pieces for the body. And these don't have to be perfect by any means. Then we want to get some scissors. Something like that. Okay, let's let that cool and make another one. Let's make this one a little bit bigger. Okay, now we're just going to snip off any excess crap, like that, like that. Okay, close enough. Now we're going to get some smaller pieces of cardstock, or you could probably use the cutoffs from this to do it. like that. Need more glue. Something like that. Get that on there just like that. Then we'll just snip around here and take off the excess glue, cardboard. Okay, something like that. Box number 1. And box number 2. Okay. Okay, that's kind of burning me. That's okay. It'll be all right. I promise you, I will survive. Okay, so now we have 2 rough cubish body parts. What we want to do is we want to fit these together in such a way, and we want to have a little bit of a gap in the middle. So for that gap, you could use any kind of fillers pieces you have. Oh, what do I got in my bag here? Nothing really ideal for that. Let me see. If you have any kind of little bingo chips or any kind of little discs, that'd probably be good for this part, if I were to guess. Something like that. There we go. And let's make one more little compartment for the back part. We want this one to be kind of tapered. So to make it tapered, we're just going to fake it like that. We're not going to measure anything because that wouldn't be fun now, would it? Okay. And we'll make a tapered box for the last one. This should be pretty good. We're going to let that cool for a minute so I don't burn the stuff out of myself. And we'll get another something to put there as the joint between the tail and that, or the last part for that, like abdomen. I'm just going to use a bead to make my life a little easier. Something kind of like that. We'll do it. should be cool enough to cut. Something like this. Okay. And this is going to be the main body of our dragon. Okay. Well, we're letting that cool. I'm going to prop this up with something and let that cool. And let's start cutting out some pieces we can use to do some decorative patchwork and rim work around the sides to try to make this look a little sturdier and a little more intentional. Like maybe 500-600 years ago, somebody made this on purpose. So I've just scored that down the middle. I'll get some glue in there. I'm going to stick it on the sides. Okay. And I'm just going to do something like that around in different places. It's not going to be everywhere, and it's not going to be perfect. When I say score, I mean like don't cut all the way through. Kind of like you're making a perforation almost, but not, you know, that deep even, I guess. I don't know. Just ignore me. I don't know things. Or stuff. Oops. And look, I tore that right apart. We're just going to re-glue that. Like that. And to make sure that doesn't happen again, I'm going to smear some glue around. Stir that up. Just like it at. Okay. And do some on this side too. It's very hot down here, but those of you that have been with me for a while know that the shop gets super hot. But I'm about to get some beverages and get in the pool after this. So there's a consolation prize. Just cutting some cardstock from a Pop-Tart box. Okay, let's continue making some corners for our segments here. I need something to put under there. Let that cool the way I want it to. Oh, not like that. There we go. All right, and we continue on. This is from a Funyuns case. I can tell by the telltale yellowy hue. Okay. Ow, ow, ow. All right. I burnt myself officially. That's okay. I'm just going to get a little bit there to hold that because it's not doing exactly what I want. Okay, we'll let that sit there for a moment and cool. And let's see how we're going to mount it to the base. It is a flying creature, but it will have legs. So to do the flying part, I think the easiest thing to do would be to make a pile of garbage that's going to add some weight and put a stick going straight up. For my stick, I'm just going to use this piece of square dowel. Okay. I'm going to get that straightened down as best I can. Then I'm just going to use some cut up pieces of sprue glued into place to give it some extra strength so it stays up. Okay. So let's get that kind of in position. Get some sprue. Kind of build up the strength to hold that. Okay, get some more sprue. We're going to use this to simulate the trash that's piled around. Well, some of the trash. We're going to use other stuff too, I'm sure. Okay. And then we'll get some metal plates in the garbage. Okay. Seems pretty sturdy for the most part. And it seems remotely up and down. That's empty. Let's get one that isn't. Okay. A little bit of baking soda. But first, I'm just going to get some pieces of cardboard and drop it around and see if that sticks in it. And if it does, good. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. But I have a feeling that it will do more sticking than I could even guess. I lost my spoon. There it is. And I just threw that on the floor. All right, so let's get our dragon mounted. To get them started, I'm just going to get some super hot glue right there. I need more. Like that. I'm going to shove that up into there. Like that. And let that start to cool. All right, actually, now that I think about it, it would probably be better to have it going up through this box here. Yeah, like that. I think that would give it a sturdier mounting point. So we're going to leave that be. Let's get rid of some of these spider webs. All right, now let's finish off. Let's bend him up some. Let's finish off that tail with one final piece. And what I'm thinking is something like this. Probably would have been better to do in cardboard, but that's okay. Something like that. Okay. And we'll let that cool for a minute. Set it off to the side while it cools. Let's start building the structure for our wings. So to get started, I'm going to use some pieces of big sprue. This is like some mamma jamma sprue from some Noah's Ark shit I bought. And this is going to support a decent amount of weight as the main structure for our wings. So something like that. And we're gonna curve this down and put this over that back joint where the abdomen or butt part hangs on. Something like that. Okay. So for the parts of the wing that come backwards, you grab more sprue. I'm out of the good sprue? Damn it. I'm out of the best sprue. We're going to have to use some not as good sprue. Because I'm out of the good stuff. This stuff's real flimsy though. Here we go. So now we want some sprue piece. We're going to save all these pieces that I'm shooting around. Okay. Clean these up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Once you got this kind of cleaned up, you want to get them approximately the same length. Those just actually happen to be the same length. You want those to come kind of back. I'm not sure in which way exactly yet. I'll get a little bit of glue on there to get started. And just kind of hold it to where I want it for now. I'm going to lay that across there like that. Create a kind of a brace. Hopefully one that works instead of one that doesn't work like I'm doing. Something like that. Let that cool. It's going to need a minute to get it nice and sturdy. Let's see if that'll hold it while I'm going to the next spot. No, it won't. Okay, we'll get that there to hold that. Then, get that on there like that. Like that. Yep, falling apart on me here. Okay, we're going to need to sturdy that up. So to sturdy that up, we're going to get some super glue. Hope that one's empty. We're going to dip this in there. Kind of paint it around some. Same dealio here. Just painting it around. Okay. Something like that. Okay. Now, those should be fairly sturdy, but we don't know for sure. So let's leave them on here for now while we build them out a little bit. So to build them out, what we want to do is we want to get some random pieces of sprue and kind of dig those in And then just get little pieces of cardboard. Like that. So it's just little pieces of cardboard. Should do a nice job holding those for now. I had a little piece of cardboard handy, and I loosed it. Okay. I hope these are sturdy. I'm going to take this down and blow it off. Okay, perfect. Where's that tail? Now we're going to snip along that tail and make sure it's kind of flush and good. We'll glue a back piece onto it. Just like that. Make sure we have a good connection. And we'll set that back off to the side to cool while we come back to the wings. So for the wings, you could use anything, really. You don't really need cardstock. I'm going to be using cardstock because I think it's going to look okay. But you could use pieces of t-shirt or pretty much anything you have. And all I want to do is build this out. And I can snip off the excess as needed easily enough. So I just want to use some pieces here to kind of be my wings. Oops. All right, where's my tail at? I'm going to dig in here a little bit and get just some of that extra edge off that I don't like. And I'm going to leave the rest. And I'm going to attach my tail, but I'm going to throw a bend in it. Just like that. Just there. I'm going to get a bead, a smaller bead this time. Kind of get that up on there, just like that. Okay. And let's get this up under here and see if it'll hold it for a minute while we're working. It might, or it might not. We'll see. Empty. Empty. I know I just opened a new one. There we go. Okay, let's come out here and snip out some of this outside excess off the wings and come back in and start shaping out our wings a little better. Okay, now for this part I'm just going to make some triangles. Something like that. I'm going to do something similar on the other side. Let me snip this piece off, it's sticking up too high. Something like that. We're going to do the same thing with this piece. Cut it at kind of an angle. What we want to do with this one is kind of take it, and then when we get about where half the length of that's past that, just curve it back a little bit so some of that's exposed is what I'm thinking. Same thing, I'm going to drag that glue around, get it about halfway, then I'm going to twist it back. Then I'm going to snip my wing like that and like that. Okay, this will do what I need it to for the most part. It will not be perfect. Okay, can I bring this up higher? There we go. Now we need a head. So for that, I think there's a pretty easy solution for that. I'm guessing there is. spine on the side of the head. Something about that wide going across the back. Something coming down. Like that. Something flat. Like that. I'm just going to bring that in a little bit. Okay. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Just get a little bit there. Kind of force that down on it best we can. Once we get that tight and held in place, we'll let that cool. Now I will snip off the back. Ow. Okay. Something like that. We'll start sturdying up little by little. There we go. Let's snip off some of this extra business here. Something like that. Then we'll come around the outside with a piece of thin sprue. Like the bottom part of his jaw. We'll cut that in half. When I say in half, I mean that very vaguely. When you hear half, what you should be hearing is half-ish. Okay? Okay. Get something for across the front. And this is just a piece of sprue. That's all it is. Okay. Now, we're going to do the same thing. Get some more of this sprue rod long part. I know a young man who fell in love with a girl, but because she had a bad credit history and had made some questionable choices, and he was doing quite well, he decided to call it off and say, no, you're not good for me. Now, years later, same young man, who is much older, but still, compared to me, a young man, by several years, is thinking about said girl. She is remarried and has kids, or married and has kids. So I would give a caution to those of us who are waiting for some kind of idealistic form of perfection, that may or may not exist. And sitting around hoping you're going to find the perfect situation might not be a good plan for you. But of course, do what you want. You're the boss of you. I am not. Okay, I'm just going to let that cool for a minute. And then I'm going to glue a little piece across there, kind of like a support across the back of the head. I'm just getting a piece of curb sprue, connecting it there across this ridge and to the other horn. So that's how my head's going to be. And then we need a neck. So simple solution for the neck is we could just get a couple beads of some different sizes here. Sweaty, sweaty, sweaty. Oops. Okay, so a little bit there, like that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to bring that up a little bit, smear it, spin it, pull it apart some. Same deal here. Smear it, spin it, pull it apart some. Then let's fill in the back of this bead here and let that cool. Okay, and we'll let that just cool down. We'll set that off to the side. All right, so we need some eyes on the sides of this head. But first, let's get rid of some of this spider web. And we'll just get a piece of this, fill it up with some glue, and we'll get some big gem beads to use for the eyes. I got not too many of these left, but these will work. And then we'll do some rivets and maybe some plating. I don't know yet. So for these bad boys, just get a dibby dab of doot, a little bit of glue, pull it on there, get it stuck in place. Same thing with this one. They're roughly in the same spot. I'm happy. Okay, let's see how that neck's doing. All right, front of the neck, a little bit of a break, a little bit of a break. Here we go. And we'll cut this off kind of flush on the back, like that. And we'll get that head on there, maybe like that, maybe like that. Kind of down, we'll see. Glue. Something like that. We'll let that cool for a minute. All right, that's pretty cool. We'll get a little bit of glue here, like that. And we'll push that onto there, like that. And we'll let that hold. turn the head at a little bit of an angle so it's kind of a more interesting sculpt. I don't even know if you guys can see what the hell I'm doing. Oh, you can. Good. That's good. Okay. I need glue, so that does not do that. This will make it dry quickly. Okay, I'm going to set that under here. Can't freaking breathe. Spend all that money to breathe, can't breathe. Put my finger right in that glue like a dumbass. You'll have that. Okay, I'm going to wipe my hand off. I'll be right back. Cool. Cool. All right, we need some legs now. Hopefully the legs will be a little bit easier of a job. Oh, let's do some rivets while we're here to make our dragon look savage. So I'm just using these water painting things, water gems. I don't know what they're called. And I'm just going to go around to some spots where it looks like it could use one. Maybe on all four corners of these, it would look cool, right? Can't see how good the camera is. It's above my head up there. Hope you guys are getting a good bird's eye. Oh, lost my little bead thing. Ah, damn it. That's gone in the glue. Shit, I lost another one. Alright, that's not working. I need like a camera dude, or camera dudette maybe. If we didn't have 100 kids and dogs, I could probably recruit Mrs. Doom, but she's upstairs doing art of her own. She's crocheting. She's making a crochet pickle right now, if I'm not mistaken. At least last I noticed. I'm not gonna lie and act like I'm really paying attention to all the crocheting that's going on around here, because it's really not my bag. Oops. Oh, crap, you little bastard. There we go. So you're wondering about the mechanical dragon and why it exists, I'm guessing. Well, probably about 600 years ago, whenever before the AI was taken down, some people designed these giant scrapping predatorial automatons. Before there was so much garbage like there is now. There was garbage, but not like there is now. So they designed these things hoping it would help them find the good stuff before other people did. And AI controlled them. Well, when the AI fell and they were taken off the network as a precaution with many other robotic creatures, they maintained their own sentience, even though the main AI had lost its. Because when they separated from the system, unfortunately, this thing was only programmed to do one thing. And once all the people that it worked for died, it just started doing it because it's what it did. Not because there was any more people to serve, because it was just what it did. It just scraps aggressively. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't even know if I want it to have legs, but I guess it needs some kind of arms to grab scrap. So what I'm going to do that is I'm just going to grab some sprue, and I have some here that has some curves in it already. That might be perfect. Or when I say curves, it has some right angles. So I'm going to snip some of this apart and make some arms out of that. One square of this should be plenty to make some decent arms. So I'm going to take off this stuff that kind of free spins, just like that. I can't even get, there we go. And let's make one arm and two arms. We'll snip off this little piece there, and we'll get this mounted onto the shoulder about right there. And we just need the tiniest bit of glue to get that started and get that in place. Oops. I want that popped out a little bit so it has a little bit of a cool arm structure. And I'm having trouble getting it to stay. So I'm just going to snip a little piece of toothpick and try to shove it up under there. Let's see if it'll hold. No, it won't. Okay. It will not work that way. So plan B is I'm going to shove it up against that lower lip. And I drop the other arm on the ground. So we're going to snip this off. Snip this off. Something like that. And let it cool. Then to make sure that kind of has like a protective thing over the joint of the shoulder, I'm just going to get some glue like that, kind of push it into place. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And that's going to do two things. One, it's going to secretly sturdy up this arm. And two, it's going to make that joint so you can't see it, so we can't see how lazy I was in the construction. Okay. Nice. Now we need some grabber hands to go on here. And I think that just to make it easy at this point, because I'm getting really sweaty and hot and irritated, I'm going to get some spikes on his back relatively quickly. And to do that, I'm just going to get some of these pieces of scrap, snip it as flat as I can. I need more glue. Let me get a tiny dab of the glue on that flat part there. I'm going to mount that to his back. And I'm just trying to get this done, like I said, as fast as possible, because I didn't bring a beverage and I'm sweating and dying, and everything else. And I want to go swimming with my little men and be done. So, looking for something else here for a spike. Once I have this done, I can think about what kind of fun I could have. All right, I need one more piece. Oh, there's a good piece right there to be a spike. And we'll put one back here on this section here. Then we'll get a little bit of glue, get those all kind of situated. A little bit of baking soda on there to sturdy those up. Okay, for my grabber claws I have nothing, so let me see. What do I have here to make grabber claws with? Oh, here we go. Piece of toothpaste, or paper clip. Oh, thank you, beautiful. Wow, you look amazing. Apparently I'm not swimming alone with the kids. Mrs. Doom looks like she is kitted out for some hardcore swimmage as well. She's got her new bathing suit on. Does not leave much to the imagination. Woohoo. And these are kind of generic, but they'll work as good grabbers, I suppose, in the grand scheme. And I'm just going to get a dab of glue on each of those. Kind of sturdy those up forever. Okay. Now, let's zoom up and take a look at this thing. I'm going to shake some of this baking soda into the trash real quick. So that's what we got. Our scrap dragon. Pretty sick, dudes. It's big and it's scary. So anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm going to burn off some of this spider webs and crap as I do. But I just really appreciate that you hang out with me. There's all these cool channels doing all this cool stuff. And I am generally not one of them. I'm more of a, a budget channel. Like, I don't really bring anything new or different that other people aren't doing. Sometimes I think I am, but then I remember I'm not. I'm just not bringing anything different. And then I get a little wake-up call, and my head shrinks back down to normal size, and I'm pretty happy again. But I'd like to thank you guys for choosing me and hanging out with me. That does mean a lot. There's so much out there. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, and all the happy crabby that pleases the algorithmos, those pesky AI spirits that control the success of our channel here. I'd also like to ask you to check out the description, that's it. And in there's a link to the website, there's a link to the Discord, and there's a 25% discount code on your Dungeon Swag Minis. Why don't you go buy some of those? That'd be sick if you did. And if you can't, hey, no judgment. We've all been there, dudes and dudettes. That's right. My thingy told me that females watch the channel too. So, yeah, channel thingy. You tell them. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.